fantastic. I love it when it works the first time.
Oh, mate, I'll tell you now, I hate fucking computers, man. I'm not very computer literate, to be honest with you, man. Absolutely hate this shit, but I'm actually doing all right with it. Not bad.
Oh, Igor, it's so good to talk with you. Igor, of course, from season four of Big Brother Australia. Talking here with Jamie from season seven, Big Brother Australia. I heard Chrissy Swan say once, if you were in Big Brother after 2008, you're not a real housemate.
uh, you can beg to differ that way. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It all changed. It all went downhill, man. After I reckon 09, whatever it was, it just didn't become the real TV show that what I experienced, what you experienced, the previous years and in between, really.
Yeah, where do you think they went wrong?
I think they went wrong with influencers, people that wanted to, go on social media, get their numbers up, all about models, bodies, and it was more the rating sort of thing that they had X person who does X this and had a million followers, and it wasn't what we got to experience, like the average person that audition and no one knew them, no one knew who they were. I mean, the only one was Fitzy who played AFL, which I found out later on, and obviously think, oh well, that was a bit of a okay, you got him in. Paul was on reality the year before us, but the first four, five, 6 seasons, no one was known. No one, just average Joe blows,
What
and
was
which is what made
Paul
it more
on
interesting.
before Big Brother?
Paul was on that footy. There was a they did like a footy thing where they were going to enter the league, play like
Oh,
proper
yeah.
football league,
Followed some
and they played
rookies.
obviously with it was something like that. They entered it. They got obviously people and they audition who could play footy, whatever it was, and yeah, Paul being controversial even on that show he was. I remember seeing it, so yeah, it's quite funny to watch him and then become a housemate with him.
Hmm. And I tell you what, it was a huge moment for me in the house. I thought he was going to have a punch on with Merlin that night. Do you,
Oh,
do you, do you
that
remember
was
that night?
such a great.
He
But I was
said,
involved with the whole thing.
he said Merlin was un-Australian, or at least that's what Merlin thought. And being like a German guy who'd emigrated to Australia, he lost it. Is that
Yeah,
what you remember it happening?
I was actually on the couch with Paul when we were talking about it, and I actually asked Merlin, I said, "Do you have a passport?" And he said, "No." I said, "Well, I go, I don't look Aussie, I don't sound Aussie." I go, "But my passport says nationality Australian." I go, "Which makes me clearly an Aussie." I go, "I'm born and raised here." And then, yeah, it was a massive punch on. And then I remember one of the girls in the house said, "Well, you have to be Australian to be on the show." I said, "No, if you read the applicant, when you apply, it says Australian citizen or resident of 2 or more years." I guess he's a resident. I go, "Technically, he's not a citizen." I go, "Paul wasn't wrong. Paul was right." But it was obviously, we understood that he got bullied, from
Mm.
Germany and he copped it as a kid. And obviously, it was a real soft spot for him. But look, great guy overall. We had our 20th anniversary last year and there was no kerfuffle about that. We look back and laugh at it now. But yeah, like you feel sorry for him for what he went through as a kid, being bullied and German Nazis, and I wouldn't want to be in his shoes growing up and where he came from and what he copped. Really,
Yeah, but what about you? Did you have a similar experience? Like you've got a slight sort of accent. Would growing up like the way you talk, would you have been picked on because of that?
100%. You always cop it. I mean, it's always like the wog thing. You sound like a wog, and yeah, that's something. But wogs will deal with wogs, and will be with Aussies, and yeah, we always had that thing. But I don't know. I wasn't traumatized the way what Merlin explained, but obviously I don't look Aussie, I don't sound Aussie, but you have that voice in you which is totally different. But nah, I actually found it alright. It didn't bother me one bit growing up like that as a kid.
So then are you saying in the fight between Merlin and Paul that Paul didn't say anything wrong, and Merlin probably just got triggered from his past?
Yeah, Paul said nothing wrong. What Paul said was the truth. And saying if you want to become an Australian, become a citizen. So I mean, he came across very angry, very like aggressive in a way you can say, but that's just Paul's character. That's how he was, and it was something you had to adapt to, which I found it quite funny how he was with us every day. But I think it was more the fact that Merlin, his past, reflected and came back and really got him psyched up and really got him revved up, and yeah, that's what really made him angry. Just his
Mm.
past as a kid growing up.
Now
I
you're
guess
saying
that'll make anyone angry if we were in that position as well.
I think we've all got our sensitive areas or things that can trigger us or really annoy us, and other things just water off a duck's back, and everyone's individual, I guess. Yeah. Now you say that they wanted like average Joes in there. It wasn't about a beauty contest or anything like that. I'm pretty sure you had your shirt off more often than you had it on in there, mate. And you were showing
Yeah,
the
but
tats,
look,
and you're a bit of a unit.
look, we had our shirts off. That's just standard. Everyone walks around. You're on TV. You know you're on TV, and it's not about parading, but I think it's more those first couple of days, and after that, you just don't really care. Like your tops off, your tops on. You're not worried about that sort of things. But the thing was, we didn't have social media back then, so there was no Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. There was nothing at all. All there was is the Herald Sun, and that's the only thing that we would make. Back page, middle page, front page, or if they brought up our past, if they found any demons in the closet. But it was different. Like now, it's just social media crucifies you massively now. It's
Oh, look,
actually
I'm
very
so
very hard.
thankful. I'm so thankful for the years that I was in there being '07, because, and this is what I was saying to other people too, from the earlier years. I've said I'm glad I didn't become a meme. I'm glad I wasn't on social media.
Yeah,
People had MySpace before I went in. And then when I came out, they said MySpace is dead. It's all about Facebook. And I'm like, oh, what's Facebook? And
yeah.
had to learn what it was. But there was the message boards. Did you go on the message boards against advice the moment you got out of the house to see what they were saying
Message
about you?
boards.
Yeah.
Oh no, we actually got given DVDs, and what happened was when we came out of the house after you do your eviction with Gretel, they take you. Oh, hang on, man. I'm just trying to remember now. Yeah, they take you in the back, give you the whole rundown of the newspaper, what's happened, what's been said about you, if anything was said about you, your past, what's been brought up, all those sort of things, and then you have your cocktail after party. Then the next day you start your interviews with the radio, and you're very well aware of what's happened and what's been brought up. You know what I mean? I mean, like now today, like I love my F1, and you watch F1 on the weekend with something goes wrong, and they just make a mockery out of F1 drivers or other celebrities. And like you said, very, very spot on how they didn't make memes about us if we said something, and then all of a sudden it becomes this big, big hit. And all of a sudden it's Jamie or Igor or whoever it is just being mocked about on social media.
I can't believe you got given DVDs though. When I got evicted and I'd met with the producers, I said, "Oh, can I get a copy of DVDs or something?" And they said, "Oh no, no, we don't provide that." And I just went, "Oh, okay." And then just word got passed around of a guy who had the complete series on hard drive, and you could
Oh, okay,
like,
yeah.
and you had to like, and you could get it off him, and you'd fix him up and pay him for the time and effort that he put into it. Yeah, shout out to Kev, by the way. So yeah, and we all kind of got it unofficially, but we weren't given this thing officially. Was yours like an official DVD, like printed, like it would come from a shop, or was it just like a burned copy?
No, it was from them, from the Network 10. But I feel like it changed after our year. I think '05 that was pretty similar, but then after that, it started really changing. Whether it was a budget thing or they just didn't want to interact or get involved anymore, whatever it was. But you feel that massive change as the year started going on. Everything started changing with the show, and you see the new housemates, you find out so many things, and you're like, wow, we didn't do that. And not restrictions, but it was just really different to what we experienced and the years before us. Like I remember speaking with Chrissy and Reggie and Ben and Blair, and you speak to everyone, that sort of stuff. Sarah Marie, and you're like, okay. And ours was very similar, but then after that, I feel like it just really dropped off the show, just totally changed.
The show did change, and the rules thing, I noticed that. Like when I'm looking back at the earlier seasons, I'm seeing they're reading books in the house. And I was like, we weren't allowed books. Were you allowed books?
No, we didn't have no books. We had a gym, but we had no books. In the house, I don't recall it. The only book we had was the bloody rule book of Big Brother, which was like the bloody Bible that we had to read. And sometimes if you got bored in the house, you just go get the rule book and just read it. And someone's like, "What are you doing?" I'm bored. I'm just reading the rules.
Yep.
Or you'll go rampage the bloody first aid kit, find condoms in there. And you're like, okay, what are these things for? Condoms? Really? Wow.
I got so bored, I ended up reading the manuals for different appliances that were in the house. 'Cause there was
You
nothing.
know what? I actually believe you because you would read anything that you could find that you would just read. Even if it was instructions on Harvard, how to turn it on, because you get so bored, but people don't see that. They only see that half an hour a day. I mean, yeah, we had up late at night every night, and you just get so fucking bored.
Yeah.
It's so boring.
And I look back at the earlier seasons and they're sitting around reading novels, and I'm like, that is a holiday. I wanted to sit around and read novels. That'd be sweet because I'm a reader,
Mate,
obviously, and and that would have been a holiday. But I was strictly told absolutely not. I said, can I bring in a poker set? And they said no, no games, no books. And I noticed your guys, I think it was in your year, there's people like were humming songs or tunes or something like that. We were absolutely not allowed to hum a tune or a song because of all the copyright stuff of music.
yes, yes, yes.
We
No,
got a
we did
strike
do
for
that.
that.
We did.
You got a
Yeah, no,
strike
we
for
did do
it?
that.
Yeah. I don't
I
think you
got a
did,
strike for
actually.
something else. I got a
Yeah.
strike for telling Big Brother where to go.
Yeah.
In the actual diary room. So yeah, that wasn't a good one. But one of the guys decided to look. I was obviously crucified with my flasher lens. Let's say that. And then we were eating dinner one night, and one of the guys decided to fart on the table, and I said, "Yeah, no, don't do that again. I'm a wog." I go, "I'm not brought up like that," and he laughed, and I go, "You do that again?" I go, "I'll knock you out." I said it straight to him, Jamie, literally on the dinner table. And then after fish eating, I got called in the diary room by Big Brother, and he goes, "You can't make threats against the house, rules section." And I said, "Big Brother, go get fucked." I go, "They're your rules, but these are my rules." I go, "That doesn't work with me." I go, "Sorry, you don't fart while I'm eating." I go, "Period."
Did
And
they
then they
show
walk.
you doing that? I
No,
don't, I
they
never
didn't
saw that.
show it. They didn't show it. They wouldn't show it. I was actually
Wow.
spewing because Fitzy knew about it, and when I was on his show years after, and Fitzy goes, he was the only one who's ever told Big Brother to go and get fucked in all the years. I said it straight to his face in the diary room. I did not care, Jamie. I had zero tolerance about that. I just didn't tolerate that sort of things. But
Wow. And yeah, I mean, you got voted a lot because you're farting and burping and hocking up snot. And you said, well, I'm an ex-smoker. I kind of get a bit of mucus and stuff. Had you given up smoking just before you went in the house, or had you given up for ages?
no, 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 no. I was literally. I don't know how you guys were, but when we came all on stage, once we finished all coming out on stage, we all parked at the back of the house in our cars. So we still hadn't met. Literally till like the final moments, I was actually having a smoke in the car before I went in the house.
All right. And then
So
you're
I
not
was
allowed to
actually having
smoke.
my last smoke, and that
You're not
was
allowed
it.
to smoke in the house.
No, no.
And did they
I think that
provide
was
you
my other
with?
frustration that I couldn't
Yeah.
smoke. That frustrated me.
Did they give you patches or anything?
They gave us patches, which I tried, but you go in the pool, they'll just come off and that. But one of the housemates, Bree, she was a smoker, and I remember one day we were sitting outside and just talking, and all of a sudden we were like sniffer dogs in the airport. Security over the wall was having a smoke, and you just smell it coming over. We're like, but I was a smoke, and they actually got told them, I said, go smoke further down, don't smoke next to the house. Housemates can smell it. So it's actually quite funny when you quit, but then you smell the bloody smoke from over the wall.
I'm a hopeless like caffeine addict. Like I have like 10 coffees a day pretty easily,
Yep.
sometimes more. And I thought, I don't know how I'm going to cope in there without coffee if they restrict, and they did restrict coffee. But you know what's
Really?
weird? Yeah. What we didn't have an endless supply at all. No, we were very lucky at the odd time to have coffee. And
Wow.
I thought I'm going to suffer. I'm going to have headaches, withdrawals. I'm going to be shaking. I'm going to be a mess. But when it just wasn't an option, it was just like my body didn't react. I just didn't want it. So I went from 10 to 12 to 15 a day to zero and no effect. But now in like the outside world, if I don't have a coffee for a couple of hours, I'll start feeling like absolute garbage and I'll have to go and get a coffee. Um,
Yeah, that's how it is with smoking. That's how it was with me. I remember, like, I went in there. I think I was more overwhelmed, excited to have made the show, got in the house, and that first day or two, I was like, you weren't thinking about it with the smoking, but then eventually you relax, you come back to reality, and then you're like, oh, fuck, I need to smoke now. I want to smoke. That's like, give me a smoke. I think that was a withdrawal of mine, to be honest with you.
And that, yeah, that would have affected your mood. And also, when you were in there and you guys got kicked straight outside, you had to sleep outside very early
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
You had a
yes,
really bad cold or something at that time,
yeah.
and then you
I
slept
was
in the
actually
diary room.
I was actually sick the day we were going in when we were going to do the show, when we were being introduced. I actually got sick that morning. So they drugged me up with Panadols, all tablets you can imagine, because they had to get me, like get my levels up. So obviously I was all just cough medicines, everything, and then came on the show, got into the house, all good and well, went to bed, and then the next day, yeah, just hit a massive wall. I was just gone, just done. Literally, I actually slept in the diary room because they did kick us out, and it was freezing cold, like I don't know, 4 degrees at night, Queensland, but 25 during the day. And yeah, slept in the diary room that night. So it wasn't the most comfortable place to sleep, to be honest with you.
No, you just laid out some blankets on the floor, and then you're copping a bit of flack from people. They were saying you were soft for sleeping in there, and it's like,
Yeah,
I
look,
don't know
they could
how.
all say you're soft. At the end of the day, everyone's got something to say. Look, I wasn't fussed, but I always said, and I'll still say till today, 21 years later, I was the black sheep of the family. I was always the black sheep. I was not controversial, but I didn't play follow the leader. I wasn't, like every other person in the house being a sheep and following, like whether it was Fitzy or Paul, your strong characters. I just, no. I was me, gave him the respect, but I'm not going to follow you and kiss your ass and just so I'm not nominated. But had I done that again, I wouldn't change. But that's why Gretel always said, don't vote at the loud ones because the loud ones are the entertainment ones. And then, the quiet ones are the ones that are boring, but, and they're the ones that win because they're
Here's
not
how
controversial.
here's how it got explained to me. They said the people that watch the show feel like you're their group of friends, and then if someone is upsetting people in their group of friends that they're having this one-sided relationship with, then they want to vote that person out and get rid of them. So that's why it's pretty predictable. You see someone has a fight, someone has an argument, pretty soon they're gone because of that. And as a viewer, or as like maybe a more mature viewer or someone who's understands that there isn't really a relationship there, you go, oh yeah, you are kicking out the most interesting people. If they're upsetting people, that's good because that makes for good TV. But
It makes
the
great
people that are
entertainment.
voting don't think that way. That's how it
I
was
think it
explained to me.
was many years later, maybe even in coming into your years, where people started looking at it going, okay, hang on, Jamie's controversial, he's stirring the pot, but he's entertaining to watch. So we're not going to get rid of him. Even if you get nominated, they'll nominate whoever the other person was that was boring and quiet and flying under the radar. Because that's when all the radar started coming out. He's flying under the radar, she's under the
Yeah.
radar. But this guy doesn't give a shit, controversial, not deliberately stirring the pot. If someone says something, you're going to speak your mind. You don't care. And that's how I was. I just did not care. I'll speak my mind, liked it or loved it, hated it, could not care less. I didn't go in there pretending to be myself, and I think that's what made me the character who I am today. You know what I mean? Like that's how I was brought up. Respect, give the respect. You need something. I'm happy to help, but don't push the buttons the wrong way. And that's how I was in the house. I wasn't afraid. I'm not going to kiss someone's ass just because I don't want to get voted. I wouldn't change.
I feel like in the house in your year there was like a lot of alpha male kind of energy. Like before the gym was open, they're like, "Where can we work out? Let's do some dips." And everyone's flexing and using whatever they can to do chin ups and dips and stuff like that. And all the blokes are walking around with their shirts off. And I don't know. Did it feel like that to you? Was there like a alpha male kind of contest? And
100%. 100%. It was like, look at my body, look at my pecs, look at my chest. I'm going to work out here. I'm going to do push ups. I'm going to walk around, swing my arms around, and, pull up these weights. Yeah, 100% it was. You could tell it was. It was an alpha male thing. And not all the guys, but a few of them were parading themselves. Yeah, look at me and walk around with the tops off all day talking and go in the diary room with your top off. So, but then we got told off. We'd actually have our top on in the diary room. They actually stopped
oh,
that pretty quick.
what was there a reason given for that? That seems like a weird rule.
I don't know. I think it was more just if when you did your diary entries. I don't know if you guys had diary entries. When you do your diary entries, that Big Brother didn't want us sitting on a diary chair and with the top off. Just like, I
Oh.
think that's maybe more of whether it's a respectful thing, God knows. I don't
Hmm.
know. But I remember they said no more tops must be worn in the diary room.
So you started out being like really tight with Aphrodite, then you guys had a problem.
Yes.
How do you describe your relationship with her and what kind of went wrong there?
I never said to anyone that I had a girlfriend. I never brought up my girlfriend. at the time the girl I was dating. It was more based, and this is when at the time when I was dating this girl, we spoke about the previous years how if you went in there with a boyfriend or girlfriend and you start talking to a guy or a girl, people will perceive it the wrong way. It can come on the show the wrong way. They'll be like, oh, such and such, getting close on the couch today, they're talking, and it can cause conflict and arguments. And I saw that in the previous years. And I said to the girl at the time I was dating, I said, look, I'm going to go in there. Like I said, I've got a girlfriend. Not that I'm interested in anybody, but it was more the fact of I don't want to be looked at that wrong person. And it happened to be me and Aphrodite got along. She's Greek, I'm Macedonian. We're wogs. We just bonded straight away. And that's where people like Fitzy straight, oh, I think, they might be hitting it up there. They might be getting something going on there. And that's where it all begins. And then when I did come out with my girlfriend, Aphrodite had a bit of a hissy fit, got upset. I think she felt, well, it was used, but I didn't mislead her. I didn't, there was no chemistry, no connection. There was nothing that I said that would mislead that girl at the time. And then she found out, and obviously I spoke with other housemates. Yeah, she had a bit of a hissy fit and had a sook and cracked it.
Became a bit of a bombshell, and she
Massive bombshell.
became. Um, do do you think that she was a good housemate? Was she a net positive for the house, or was she a net negative?
Um, in ways when I spoke with her, because I was actually close with her, she was positive and she would confide in you because you need, as you know, Jamie, you need people in there that you can bond with and get close with. It doesn't matter male or female. Like you can click with someone that's like, yep, we're going to be talking a lot. But then she was negative when it came to other housemates and she would cause a racket. She just didn't care. She had a big mouth on her. But when I spoke with her, we had really good conversations and spoke a lot of things. But then she just, I think, became a bit delusional, just went off the charts towards the
Yeah.
end. I just think she just lost it. Like everyone was against her and she knew and she hated it. And I guess that tipped her over the edge.
So did everyone go to the reunion, including her, that 20-year reunion?
We had it last year. Kane was the only one that didn't come and Aphrodite, but everyone else did come.
Hmm. And
Apparently,
have you?
Aphrodite, I think he's living in Perth somewhere. She didn't want to be affiliated. She wants nothing to do with Big Brother. She just doesn't even talk to anyone. So, yeah.
Oh, have you spoken to her since the show at
Nah,
all? No.
no, I haven't spoken to her in 20 years. Nah, look,
Hmm.
we've got our group chat when we said we're going to do the reunion on WhatsApp. We've got the group chat. It's only housemates. And obviously, leading up to it, places, what city, and restaurants, and all that. And we've had a lot of laughs. A lot of people have sent messages through and photos. And it's not like we post every day or every week, but sometimes someone will throw something up on the group chat, and everyone's having a bit of a laugh and whatever it may be. And then everyone, I think, when the housemates started putting up everyone's when we went on that night there, hi, I'm Igor, blah, 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 like our reel. They'll put it up and everyone's like, oh my God, look at us. We look so feral. This is 20 years ago. How much have we changed? It was just, yeah. And my goalmate ended up coming to our reunion, but Gretel didn't come, which was a bit of a downer. We hoped she was going to come, but yeah, she didn't make it there.
So if this was a new idea magazine article, Igor, where are you now? Where, like in life, what's
Uh,
happening?
Life is honestly just normal, Jamie. Life is normal. Like I've been traveling the world for well over 20 years now. I've gone to the World Cups, last three World Cups, F1 races. I just love to travel, enjoy life. Blessed with three kids, two boys and a girl. Obviously, you'll get people recognise you still, which is our era more. That's not the young era. It's more our era. People will go out, they'll see you at functions, whatever. It's just the reality of being normal. Like when I came out of the house, I was actually quite shocked. And I'm sure you would have experienced how hard life is. You can't go to the shops. You couldn't do anything. Everywhere you went, you would just get bombarded, photos, questions, autographs, and you just don't realise. I remember being told when I was auditioning, they spoke to all of us. They said, if you make the show, your life will change. Now, no one can prepare you for the changes, but it becomes, you're like this Hollywood superstar. And because our years, there was no social media, there was only Big Brother, that was a reality show. Not like now, they're just every channel is reality and they're forgotten about tomorrow. Where us, we were known for years to come, many years to come. Like even now, 21 years later, we're still not forgotten. But you go back, if you asked me 3 years ago who was on Big Brother, even though I watched it, I could have named maybe one name for you.
I
But you
think,
can go,
yeah,
but you can go back to series one, three, five, six, seven, eight, and know a lot of the people in there because they got stuck in our heads.
I think so. And like, I'm still shocked whenever I get recognized when I'm out and about. Now it's like, it's down to a couple of times a year for
That's
me.
all it is. Yeah, maybe yeah, it depends. I
You
mean,
know,
walk functions like for me to go to a walk function, a massive function, yeah, you'll be recognised by all of them because that's I'm in that culture amongst my people. But to go to the shopping centre, nah, you got no problems at all. But have you realised if someone looks at you and they recognise you, you just like put the indicators on, just walk straight. You don't want to talk to anybody. You just want to be like left alone. It's like can't be bothered.
yeah, I'm always torn about that. Like, I don't want to be a jerk and be like, I don't want to talk to you. But by the same token, I don't want to go too far the other way and be like, I'm way too big a celebrity to talk to you because I'm not. So it's like
Yeah.
I'm trying to walk that tightrope, and I always I feel a bit weird. I feel a bit uncomfortable about it, but I'm always happy to talk to anyone about the show. And it is
Oh, look,
nice when someone comes up and goes, "Hey, it meant a lot to me when you're on the show, and I saw a bit of myself in you." And I'm like, "That's
yeah.
cool. That's cool to have that effect on people." Like
Oh, it is.
before the
Yeah,
show,
go,
you
Jamie.
were sorry, yeah. Before the show, you were running your own tiling business. Is that what? Did
Yep.
you go back to that pretty soon after, or
Nah, maybe 3 years after, I reckon. I
wow?
went
What
back
did you do
into
for
it.
the 3 years after the show?
Uh, hosting gigs, nightclubs. I was doing commercials. You just literally hosting parties, and they're paying you to do that sort of stuff. You're just literally traveling around Australia. Like we lived out of a suitcase for the first year. Just it was basically Sydney, Queensland for the first year. You know, you're just constantly living out of a suitcase and just doing nightclub appearances, and they pay well money. Don't get me wrong. Plus, I sold the
Yeah,
Mitsubishi Lancer that they gave us. That ones that we got given. That I sold. I just to give me the money. I don't want the car. So yeah, and you're just doing all appearances, and it was just a massive roller coaster ride. Like you're not thinking of going back to work. It's not something that you looked at to go back to work.
yeah. I think maybe that time shrinks as you go down across years because I did about probably 6 months, maybe a year's worth of doing appearances and gigs and the nightclubs and stuff like that. And it was really good money to get paid to show up to a nightclub and be there for 45 minutes. And
Yeah,
you're just getting plied with drinks, everything's free,
flights,
everyone's
accommodation, everyone's giving it to you.
everyone's awesome. And it's it's a massive party time for a long time after, and you do make a lot of money very quickly, and it was more
Yeah.
money than I was used to having.
Well, that's what
And
it is. Like you said, you make good money out of it. You make really good money out of it.
you do afterwards, and then people think you were rich from being on the show, and it's like, no,
I
no.
wish. I wish I was rich.
It's on the show we got our $500 a week to make sure our we weren't
Yeah,
homeless when we left, and that was
that's
it.
disgusting. That's
And then
disgusting. $500 a week.
and then but then when you get out and it was like sometimes like 5 grand maybe for 45 minutes at a nightclub. Yep, sign me up, I'll do as many as you want. And
We
I
just
hate
spent 10 weeks
nightclubs.
in the house to make 5 grand, but you'd go 45 minutes, make 5 grand somewhere. That's how easy the money was.
It was good. I wish I could have kept
That was
doing it, to be
sensational.
honest. But I mean, after the show, right, you've got some big names in the house with Ryan and Bree staying on and becoming like hosts. Like,
Yeah.
why do you reckon they got picked out of everyone that was on your series or every other series? Why them?
A lot of people ask that question. I don't know. That still baffles me whether Ryan was the Aussie Bogan and the ex AFL footy player and using his past as like a way to bring it up or make it work. And look, he was a funny guy. He had a good character behind him, but why he was chosen, I don't know. Bree, I don't know. Fortunate for them, but then if you look at there was 4 years of Big Brother, then on the fifth season they chose two housemates from the year before when you had 3 years before that you could have chosen Blair, Ben, Sarah Marie, Chrissy, Reggie. You could have, chosen a lot of people, but it happened to be just our year for the next season. They chose two of them, and that's Fitzy and Bree. But you think so many housemates had gone through, and you're like, okay, fair enough, they got chosen. But yeah, I don't know why, how they made it, but lucky for them, gave them their massive break, I guess, with Fitzy as well, and doing the radio and that sort of stuff. So yeah, good on them.
Oh yeah, good on them. And having, hung out with them on the set of Friday night games and that kind of stuff, after I was evicted and I got to be on the show and on the panel with them, for like a guest spot one time.
Yeah,
They were awesome to hang out with. And yeah, and actually, Ryan came in and interviewed me in lockdown as well. While I was locked down. Actually, that's something I've noted too, is that we were in lockdown for a full week, like 7 days, I think it was. And
wow.
you guys only had like 3 days. Is
Three
that right?
days, yeah, that was it. Yeah, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday we went into the house, and Sunday, yeah, went on air. Yeah, so 3 nights from Wednesday we were in lockdown. You guys 1 week spent in lockdown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
Hell of a
I
long time.
would have gone
Because they wanted
crazy.
to pre-promote the show and give away some secrets, I think, and didn't want us to know. So we had a full week, and it was we didn't get to leave, barely got to leave the hotel room. You might get taken downstairs into like a function room for some photos or an interview or something, but the rest of the time you were just hanging out in the hotel room. And it was like, get used to it. This is a taste of what the next 3 months potentially could be like.
Well, see, we didn't have that. We were going up and down the different levels, doing our photo shoots, videos, while we were all in lockdown. And it was funny because my housemate Crystal was actually underneath me on the balcony. She was on the level underneath me, and I was on the balcony with my brother and my Gavin, who was the guy who was looking after me, getting all my shopping done, everything that we needed. And I remember having a smoke, looking at the balcony, and Crystal looked up at me, and I'm like, "Hey, yeah, not bad." And we actually got told off. And then we realized in the house that we were on top of each other. I'm like, wow, that's a bit of a freak. And we only went out one night for dinner. They gave us a choice of restaurants that you could choose, and they said you had to have your back turned to the TV. You weren't allowed to talk to anybody, even the bar, the staff, no one. No one had to know who you were. So everything I ordered was my guy, my chaperone, that ordered all my food for me. So we'll sit there, Igor, what do you want? I'll be telling him, and he'll be telling the waitress or the waiter. That's like, I don't have a mouth to talk to you. Like, I'm too good to talk to you. So I felt stupid. Like, I'm like, hey, can I have this? But no, it's like, Gavin, can you order me this? And he'll say, yep, can you get him this? That's like, what's going on here? It actually seemed very stupid at the time,
And that
but
must have
that's the
seemed
rule that
weird
we
to
had
the
to follow.
waiter.
Yeah, it was because like, can I take your order? And my brother could order, my chaperone could order, but I had to ask him to tell him what to order for me.
What a weird
So and
experience.
then, yeah, it was, but at the time we had to follow rules, and they were the rules that were given to us. We had no choice.
Yeah, we were
So
told,
and
but we
then
were told we weren't allowed on the balcony for that reason.
no, we were going on the balcony. I actually asked to bring my PlayStation from home so we could play games and watch movies in lockdown. They actually allowed it. So me and my brother, we got our PlayStation, got games. There was no internet, and back then you obviously had DVD, burnt DVDs, and you just watch movies in lockdown. And yeah, and you either spend time out videoing photos for 3 days, or go back to your room, and yeah, that was it. No pool, no swimming, no nothing.
So you applied 3 times to get on the show. I'm assuming that was
Correct.
season two, season three, and season four.
Yep. Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
And how far did you get the first couple of times? Did they answer you back when you posted in your cassette tape? Because
Absolutely nothing. Nothing at all.
really,
Nothing at all.
I thought
So
maybe
that's
you
where
made it to the group audition and they said, no, come
no,
back.
no, nothing at all. No, so I did season two, nothing, didn't hear back from him. Season three, heard nothing back from him, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, what am I doing wrong here? There's something I'm doing wrong. And then when season four came along and you read it and it says video for 3 to 5 minutes, be yourself, show who you are. And that's what I thought, I'm going to be myself. I'm not going to put on an act, dress up, whatever it may be. And the girl I was dating at the time, I said, video this, and we're going to do it in one take. My video went for 15 minutes. I didn't go 3 to 5, I went for 15 minutes.
You're already breaking
And
the
literally
rules,
just,
man.
I was breaking the rules from the word get go. So I was literally just like walking around the house. My parents were out at the time, showing them obviously where I live. I had an arcade machine, my Monaro. This is my house. Obviously, I'm with my parents. This is what I've got. This is my office. Yeah, all the kits and caboodles. And yeah, ended up going for 15 minutes. And I just sent it through and then got the phone call and said, come to the audition. And I was like, I'll make it now. I knew I could make it. I just had to get noticed. That's the thing of being noticed. And once I got noticed, getting on was the problem.
You got to imagine in the olden days, they must have had piles of just cassette tapes just flowing into this office, and they can't possibly watch them all, or they'd just fast forward through and just go, does this look interesting enough to stop and watch it? I don't know. I don't know how they did it. Um,
I reckon they gave it maybe 30 seconds to a minute. That's why they said the video to go to 3 to 5 minutes. I reckon the first 30 seconds, if first it was me, Jamie, and I'm sitting there watching videos, I mean, there was 35,000 people audition for a year. So imagine, like I
mm,
said, 35,000 cassettes, tape, just piles of VHS tapes. And it's like, I would put it in, I'll physically see this person probably go, like, nah, out, next one, nah, out, next one. Maybe, put them aside, next. Like, I reckon they're just throwing them out the window, literally. I reckon they gave
I
me 30
reckon.
seconds
Yep. Have you
because
seen
there's
any
no
of
way to do that.
Have you seen any of the audition tapes that are up on YouTube at the moment?
I've seen one guy, apparently he was posting that he's gone through the next stage. I don't know what his name is. I don't know if he had a beard or a mustache or something. And I don't know if his name was Dave or something. People are
That
commenting,
seems
oh, go
weird.
Dave or something. Yeah, he was actually putting up videos. I'm like, you weren't allowed to mention Big Brother. Like, you can't say if you're auditioning or if you're the next stage or if you're becoming a housemate. Because I remember clearly in my year, there was a girl from Werribee who actually made the actual house as a housemate. She was a pet groomer. And I remember this story very clearly. So when she got the phone call saying, welcome to Big Brother, because it's like, what, 2 weeks after you go and you fly to Queensland. So they give you 2 weeks to prepare, clothes, everything that the list they give us.
Mm.
Within that 2 week period, one of their friends rang the Herald Sun, told the Herald Sun her name wasn't leaked, but her job, her age, and what area she came from was leaked, and they scrapped her. They actually said, you're not coming in now
Wow.
because of a friend who decided to ring up the Herald Sun and say, my
I
friend's on the
was
show.
I was so scared of that happening. I followed the rules to the T on that.
Yeah,
And I remember them saying, don't tell anyone. You can tell one person who's going to like take your photos for you because they mailed us out a digital camera and said, fill this up,
yeah,
put in like 100, 200 photos, whatever. And so I could tell one person, and that was all. And then I get in the house, and I'm like, oh, it was so hard to keep that secret from everyone. And then Joel was
yeah,
telling me in the house that he told like a bunch of his friends, and I'm like, what? I was
yeah,
petrified.
nah,
I
bad.
was like, I do not want to lose this opportunity, so I will 100% follow the rules. And that's why even when they were saying in the hotel room, don't go out in the balcony, you're not allowed to, and you might because you might inadvertently see another housemate or talk to someone else who's a housemate. And then um and then my ex who I was in the lockdown with, I said to her at one stage, like, I just want to go out and just feel the sun on my skin and just go on the balcony for like 5 minutes. She's like, what if this is a test? What if this is a test and you lose your spot in the house because you break one stupid little rule? And I'm just like, you're right. So I just toughed it
Yeah,
out.
actually, you don't know. You just don't know, Jamie. Like, we got told, I don't know how true this was, but the hotel that we stayed at, there was a hotel in front of us. Apparently, they reckon there was people there, the media, with cameras and zooms and looking at all the balconies, trying to get photos to see who was going to be a housemate. So, but we were still going on the balconies back then. I don't know how true that story was, but we got told that. Never got confirmed, but bit of a rumor that went around back in our days. So it's quite funny, actually.
Whenever we left the hotel room for photo shoot or something, the chaperones would be on like little radios talking to each other to make sure that
Yes.
we walked down different hallways. We didn't see each other. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
you got to hold up here. We got to wait here for 3 minutes. All right, just wait. And so you're just standing there, just while someone walked through that you didn't get to see. Yeah.
Mate, me and my brother and my chaperone, we sat in the lift downstairs, I reckon, for maybe nearly 5 minutes because they had a bit of a delay going on. All of us to get in our cars because I was housemate number seven, so I had to sit in the bloody lift downstairs. They just kept opening the door, kept opening the door, kept opening the door. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Eventually, they got sick of it, so they just like took me around the corner so we couldn't see each other. And I'm like, this is like FBI Secret Service presidential, things. It's like a 007 movie. It's like, really? It's like no one's allowed to see this person. It's like you're a phantom out there. Genuinely, it's like a phantom. It's like, what's happening? Like, is this necessary this much? But you understand why they do that. So there's no one talking to each other because they can't video that. So me and you can say, Jamie, we're best friends, but we'll never nominate each other. Cool. And then like we've got each other's back now. And that's before going in a show if we did cross paths. So you understand why they've done that, but you think, wow, yeah, it's actually quite a thrill to look back at it all.
It is, and then you remember people from the group audition when you go into the house. But then again, we were told don't talk about the audition process when you're in the house. Don't talk about previous seasons. I reckon we got so much more rules than what you guys had. Um, I was watching some of the third season, and they were talking about the chaperones. We were told absolutely do not talk about staff members or production crew or any hosts or anything like that. One night we were sitting around
Wow.
talking about Mike Goldman, and we were talking about the Joker poker show that he did because I love playing poker. And then the Big Brother comes on, it's like, you're not meant to be talking about staff. And we're just like, oops, just yeah, so many little rules there. Did you apply for any other shows around that
As
time?
in
Like
reality, no, nothing,
reality shows?
nothing at all.
No.
No,
Game
because I know.
shows?
No, I was on Deal or No Deal a few years later as the opening the briefcase and that sort of stuff. But back then, there was only Australian Idol and Big Brother. There was no other reality shows back then. There was nothing at all. I mean, I don't know, unless there was those like, I don't know, if you had Sail the Century back on, just game shows like those sort of things. But there was no like The Block, The Voice, Married at First Sight. There was none of those sort of things. I mean, we always had Wheel of Fortune, Sail the Century, all those sort of quiz games that you'd win prizes and that sort of stuff, but not what we got to experience. There was nothing like that back then.
When I
That's
was on
when,
there, Biggest Loser was pretty big, but I think it was pre Biggest Loser in your time.
yeah, yeah. No, Biggest Loser wasn't on with us. That came on, I think, maybe 2 years after, whatever it was. So I think that was, now you say that, I remember that. I think that was the next reality TV show to come on, The Biggest Loser. But like I said, with Idol and Big Brother, when it launched in 2001, it just went global everywhere around the world. Everyone just like hook, line, sinker, watching TV all day, every day. Everyone waiting to watch that half an hour. Then we got obviously up late at night, live 2 hours every night. We were actually on the Three Network mobile because they were our sponsor. You could watch us live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We had uncut. We had everything in our ear. Like, it was just full on craziness.
Now, I can't. You sold your car straight away that they gave you because you were on a good. It's like a good prize year. There was good
Oh,
prize
yeah.
years and bad prize years.
Yeah.
If you had got on the previous year, I think you would have got two flip phones and a and a mobile phone
PlayStation
dongle.
and some holiday, whatever it was, and maybe some McDonald's voucher for a Big Mac. But I think our year was the best year that we had the best prizes ever
You
because
did.
every single housemate got a car. Because in the year before us, Reggie who won, Chris one got a car. No one else got a car. So our year is the only year. Then they've said this. That every single housemate got a car. Every single housemate got a car, and it's like, wow, $30,000. Thank you very much. I'll sell you now. So just get rid of you. Yeah, that's what it was basically.
See, I've won two cars in my life, and the second one that I won was just like in a raffle kind of thing. And I kept my Big Brother car for a while, but I didn't want to keep the other car. And I said to the dealer like, "Oh, can I just have the cash instead?" Um, Even if you take some off, and I know you've got to make a profit. And then they're like, oh, it would be considered a trade in. And they offered me some ridiculous trade in price for a car that I hadn't even taken delivery of yet. So I didn't get
Yeah,
anywhere near the retail price of the car. Did that happen to you?
I took the car for a week. Um, because they wanted me to take the car for a week. They wanted to do some photos with me, the dealership where I got it from. So I said, look, they had to register obviously under my name, had to be legally registered so they can do it like a trade in. So I took it for a week, clocked on maybe 200 Ks. And the guy who worked there, I knew one of the dealers there who worked there, a friend of mine that I went to school with. So I rang him up, I'm going to bring the car back. And I think car was valued at 31 grand. I got 25 for it. They're like 6 grand off.
Oh, you did well.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
look, it's because it's any car, even now, if you go buy a brand new car now for like let's say 80,000, once you drive out of the driveway, you've already devalued it by 10 grand straight away.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
if you've got 1K on the clock, because now it's considered second hand. 1K or 1,000 Ks, it's considered second hand. Because you or me aren't the first owners to pay for a brand new. So, but yeah, like I said, I think I lost like 5 or 6 grand. But to me, I didn't lose. I made a profit of 25,000.
Yeah.
So it's not like I physically gave 31 and lost five after a week. No, it didn't work like that. So
Was
I
it
was, I
bright
was
yellow like the one you got into on stage?
no, mine was silver. They gave me a
All
silver
right.
one. If they gave me that canary one, I would probably throw the keys at them. That's
That was a
thing.
shocking
But
look.
look, it stood out. Don't get me wrong. When you come out of the house and that they pull in yellow, I mean, amongst white, silver, or black, a yellow just stands out massively.
So when did so you're afterwards, what happens when you come out of the house? So you're saying you did the debrief with the psychologist with Carmel. I think she's been with
Yes,
them
yeah,
like through the whole
yeah, yeah.
time. We even
Carmel,
had her.
yes.
Um, and then you sort of get talked to by producers and then you do the on stage stuff. Then it's like a full on day of radio interviews. And you talk so much in that day that my voice went. I completely used up all the voice that I
I was
had.
over it by half the day, just talking about the same shit. I was just literally over. I'm like, can we just do like a pre-recording, just play my voiceover for all these people? They're asking the same questions. But it's a commitment that you have to do. But I done 2 days of that. So I had all day radio, and then I had to do nomination show with Gretel. Next day again, I had to do radio in the morning, then get a flight back to go to Rove. You were on Rove, weren't you? Did you guys do Rove as well?
No, Rove stopped doing it by
Oh,
our year. Which
really?
yeah, and I heard, I don't know if this is true, but I always heard that Rove hated doing Big Brother interviews.
I heard the same thing too. Yeah.
And he was only doing it like under duress contractually. And it when I saw him interview housemates, I always did feel like maybe it was because I knew this or I'd heard this, but it always came off a bit like a bit rude, a bit dismissive. Like when Michael was on there and he put like a truth or lie hat on him, and then he'd ask him questions, and if he didn't like the answer, it just light up lie, and it's like the dude's just
Mm.
trying to answer questions, and you're just saying he's a liar. Why?
Yeah, look, Rove took the piss out of some people. And I remember Michael. Michael had that big argument with Gretel as well.
Yeah,
Uh, but I think what it is that you got to be careful what you say and what you do when you go on that show because you got to remember when you come out, they're going to question you on what you say, what you do. A few things I regret saying and doing, and they question you live, and you're on that spot. But Michael was a different story. He was a different ball game. But with Rove, I actually felt quite comfortable with him. Rove really embraced me. I remember in the green room, Peter Halley was there. Rove came in and we had a chat, this, that, and we spoke, shook my hand. He goes, Igor, we're just going to have a laugh. He goes, how you been? How's it all going? How you feeling being out of the house? He was actually really good with me, Rove. When I came out, we had a good chat on the show live. After that, we had a couple of drinks, and then I just shot off to my hotel. And then, yeah, next day did Bert Newton. Actually, no, next day I went to Sydney, came back for Bert Newton on the Thursday. I think Bert Newton was a massive highlight. Being on his show, that was amazing.
that would have. I wish I had have got that. That would have
Yeah, no,
blown
that
my mind.
was when I found that they were going on Bert Newton's show. I remember going on and I saw him with that big head of his, and I said, "Bert, I finally found someone that's got a bigger head than me." And he actually put his head next to mine, and we started comparing him. And he's such a legend. He makes you feel so welcome. He made me iron clothes on his show live, having a laugh because being a mummy's boy, being an ethnic that mum does this, mum does that, and we just had so much fun. We just had such a good time, and to be a part of his show, and obviously no more here with us, but he's not here with us anymore. But you think, well, I had the opportunity, to be that even 5-10 minutes with him, to be honoured on that show.
They called him Moonface for a reason. And the size of his that was his nickname, and he embraced it.
But,
Good on him.
yeah, he
He could
loved it.
take the piss out of himself. He was fine.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah, he was.
so you said you ended up doing some ads and things. You did a bit more media
Yeah.
work. What'd you do? What ads?
Uh, I did. I got involved with advanced hair because obviously I was receding, so I was doing the laser with the thing and that sort of stuff. And that's just before Shane Warne came on with advanced hair. So I was doing that. I did commercials with them on TV. I was doing that for a year with them. So I was doing like the laser treatment, doing ads, commercials, promos all over the social media, their web pages. And that's when they all, obviously, their website, not social media, sorry, their website. Let me correct myself. Yeah, just doing all that sort of things, going to events, being paid as an ambassador for the company. And then, yeah, then Shane Warne came along, and then I went with another company, National Hair Institute, which I actually had a proper hair transplant done. Because I'll be honest, advanced hair, it's real hair, but it's a wig. It's not your own natural
Mm.
hair. That's what people don't get. So you may be receding where they shave you and they throw a bloody dead rabbit or something on your head, and you got to go back every 6 weeks and trim it, clean it, put it back on, and that's basically what it is. But then I actually ended up getting a real hair transplant where they graft the skin from the back of your head and they just put it on your head, and yeah, got that done properly. So you have
Wow.
natural hair, growing hair every day. You don't have a rug rat on your head, to say the least. And sorry for people out there that go there, but they actually asked me to do it. And I said, not a chance in hell am I going to do that. I was absolutely against it. There's no way I was going to do that. But then I went to Turkey, got the second one done in Turkey in 2015. Flew to Turkey, got the hair transplant done there. So it's been, yeah, what, 13 years now. So otherwise I would have been bald like Mr. Sheen. But thank God, kept the hair, looked after myself, did the right thing. So I'm grateful that I've done that actually.
So you were running your own tiling business when you went into the house.
Yep.
What are you doing for a job these days? Have you gone back to that?
I did go back to it. Like I said, a few years after, got back into the tools, kept working, been in the building game for 31 years. I'm still in the building game today. Given up tiling, doing other things now. So yeah, just it's something that's always been in me. I've always loved the construction as a kid, and if I look back, I think would I wanted to continue the lifestyle I had and being that spotlight, I'd probably say no. I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to be in that spotlight all day, every day. I just find it just too much. It just gets too much at times. I enjoy my private life, to be honest with you, Jamie. Now, I love my private life.
Yeah, it's a strange experience. I explain it to people. I say to them, I feel like I got a taste of what it was like to be famous without actually being famous. So I got like a very
Yeah,
short time of it where I couldn't go to the supermarket and because there would be too many people wanting photos and autographs and stuff. Then when it died down a bit, it was just like I could go to the shops, but I had to be make sure that I was like had done my hair and was wearing something reasonable. I couldn't just
put a beanie
chuck
on,
on
put
the
the glasses
trackies
on.
and go, yeah, just have thongs and trackies and look like a homeless person because someone would get a photo
Exactly.
and it would
I
be
agree with
in,
you there.
so you're like, okay, it's a bit of a hassle. And so, yeah, you you miss that anonymity, but you don't want to say it because you don't want to be one of these, oh, boo hoo, I was famous. And it annoyed me because people wanted to talk to me and say how much they love me on telly. Like
No,
you can't whinge about that. You can't complain about that without coming off like a bit of a jerk or ungrateful, maybe.
it's not about whinging. I just no one, and I'll say this very clearly right now. No matter who you are, even me and you who have done reality TV, we cannot prepare anyone. Whoever's going on the next series of Big Brother, no matter how much we talk till the cows come home, we cannot prepare you what your life's going to be. So it's not about boo hoo, oh, you've gone on there, you've come out famous. It's not that you have to adapt to that new lifestyle. You have to change. You have to be, like who you are. Give the people respect because they're coming up to you. And that's something that I love doing. Giving people respect, talking to people, photos. I wasn't fussed by that. And that's easy. But no matter who can watch his video and think that, oh, look at that Igor and Jamie were blah, 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 and Suki Lalas, it's not that. Even though the producers told me, I still couldn't comprehend, Jamie, how life will change for you. And that's something that people will never grasp. It's like saying, today you're working, tomorrow you win Powerball $100 million. And you've got $100 million right now. Your life has changed. What do? You become
Ye-
this new person now, you know what I mean? So
mm,
that's the only way you can compare. Like we all dream winning the lotto. So imagine having $100 million now.
mm.
Cars, houses, holidays, business class, first class, do whatever you want. That's our experience what we got to go through and every other housemate out there. But if you look at reality now, people on the block or on this show, they've forgotten about tomorrow. You don't see them anymore
Mm.
because there's just too much reality TV and not everyone watches it anymore. Where our years, everyone watched us. And like you said, it is hard to grasp and it's not easy to adapt. It takes a
And
while to get used to it.
I think that yeah, people can't understand what it's like in the house as well as being then out of the house. I know I used to watch the show and someone would get evicted and then everyone would be crying and so sad. And I'm like, you friggin' idiots. Why are you sad? You're going to see them in like 6 weeks when the show ends. Calm down.
That's
You're going to see them in
that's
a couple of weeks, right? But when you're in there and you experience it, you feel like they died. They,
yeah. Look, I
it
understand that,
feels
but
like,
I think it was over fucking exaggerated. To be honest with you, it's like Aphrodite left after 2 weeks. You probably barely just got to know her name after 2 weeks, and she's left, and they having a suki lala. Like, yeah, in 6 8 weeks time, fair enough. You built a friendship. You've gotten close with each other, but man, 2 weeks come. Man, they were cried when I left. I reckon they were happy when I left. I'm like, well, go get fucked. I don't care. I was happy to leave. So yeah, the only thing I think I felt the most uncomfortable thing is what when people ask me in the house is showering with underwear on, Jamie. That's the one thing I hated. I actually came out the night I came out, finished the cocktail party, went back to my hotel to go have a shower. I walked in the shower with my jock still on because I was so used to it.
what?
Yeah,
Oh,
I was so mentally used to doing that that I walked in. I could took about a minute. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with my jocks off? And I forgot that. Like, I felt like because you look at mirrors, you feel like you're still in the house because you become so immune to that, and you
yeah.
think, oh, there's mirrors. Shit, you got to be careful how you dry yourself. Because my mum even said to me, oh, you better not go naked. I'm like, Mum, it's not about you seeing me naked. I don't want the people out there to go, I've seen your willy. I've seen your willy. And then you get, one day you get married, you're gonna have in-laws, and they're gonna go, oh yeah, I've seen him, and it was just one of those things. I said, no, I'll never ever go naked. I was never planning on doing that ever.
Really? I did the exact opposite, Igor. Night one, I nuded up, went in the shower, and I thought, nah, stuff it. I'm here. I'm just going to do it. If everyone sees it, that's fine. And I've got nothing to be proud of, by the way. But I just went in there and I'm just like, oh, this is it. And we had a row of showers, and I'm standing there nude, having a shower, and then everyone else is coming in to have their shower. I turn around, everyone else has got jocks on. And I was like, oh no, I'm going to
You
get
thought
voted
everyone was
out
gonna
for
go in
being the
naked as well.
weirdo showering in here naked. And then Andrew, the firefighter, walks around the corner buck naked. And I've never been so happy to see a naked man in my life because I was like, oh,
Of
there's
course,
someone else. Thank you.
may the
Thank
Lord
you.
thank you for taking it out.
Oh my goodness. And then I saw like the size of this fella and I was like, don't stand too close. You're gonna make me look really bad. But I'm just glad that someone else was naked. And then after that I kind of did get a bit self-conscious and started showering with the jocks on because I was concerned it would be used as a weird nomination thing. They might be like, because I was a bit older than the other housemates. I was 29, and I thought in the other one there was a lot of like early 20s, and I thought they might have been weirded out by the older guy standing next to, a 20-year-old girl naked. So I did shower with jocks on, but yeah, that was gross. That was gross. I was so happy the night that I went out and I'm just like, I can have a shower completely in the nude, not worrying at all.
Oh, mate, I was so happy to go back in the shower again naked. I was just like running around the bathroom naked and going, yes, thank God I could do what I want. Back to normal. Back to normal. Happy, Larry. Yes, just do whatever. Who cares now? Who gives a shit anymore?
Hey, I
Felt
want to
good.
I want to ask you about like fans coming up to you after the show, and I ask everyone this one about a freaky fan encounter, and I've been sharing some of mine. One of them was in the city centre in Melbourne, and it was this truck driver, and he's like seen me while he's driving along. He's blocked off 2 lanes of traffic, jumped out of his truck, run across the road, come up to me and said one of the weirdest things that anyone's ever said to me as an opening line. He said, I always knew I'd meet you. I'm just like, whoa.
Well, a bit
Take a
scary.
step back and I'm like, it's great to meet you, mate. I'm just like, am I going to
Wow.
get kidnapped and stuffed in the back of a truck here? But it turns out he was actually a really top bloke, just a super mega fan of the show, blocked off traffic in the city centre just to jump out and meet me.
Gee.
You must have had some freaky fan encounters. Can you pull out one for us?
But look, there has been a lot of freaky stories. Just some weirdos following you, stalking you, going past your house. Um, I had obviously because back then we had no social media. My Monaro that I had, everyone knew my Monaro, the orange one, and I would just have papers lined up on my windscreen wiper like bloody parking fines. It was just all girls' numbers. You just have a girl's name and her number. And but the thing was, you couldn't go on social media. You couldn't search them, see who they were. You didn't know what they looked like. You had no idea. And you just like have these like 10 papers. And it's not about bragging, but because everyone knew my car, at one stage I got that sick and tired of driving it that I had to drive my dad's car just to get around, just so I wouldn't get harassed. And if my dad drove my car, girls were chasing, oh, that's Igor. And I look at my dad and I'm like, oh, that's not Igor. It was my dad driving my car.
Gee, you did all right. You did better than me. It must be that tradie body that you've got.
Oh, ease up, man. The one is not that. Bitchy was better than me. I mean, look, I'm in shape, yeah, but I'm not bloody God knows, not chiseled away, let's say.
Mate, this is completely off topic, but I do like to ask people about this. Have you ever had like a supernatural experience? I'm talking like ghosts, demons, UFOs, anything that you can't explain.
I'm gonna have a smoke, Jamie, while I talk to you.
Okay, you go. Yeah,
What
yeah.
I, what I can say is I actually have premonitions. Even still today, I have premonitions in life. I've seen bad things happen, and if the girl I was dating at the time was here, she'll tell you the exact same story that I'm going to tell you. Is that I actually, if you look it up, it happened, I think, in 2003. I was going to Europe. Um, Airline called Hellas, Greek Airlines. I was the girl I was dating. I was with her, and I just saw this premonition, and I told her, "Go, I just seen the airplane crash into the mountain. Everyone in the plane was obviously asleep, dead, something." I go, and I seen it through one person's eyes, and I still remember this clearly till today. And she was like, "You're tripping, mind you. I'm going overseas in 3 weeks now. Europe, first time I'm heading overseas." Shooting myself, thinking, "Okay, is this a sign or something?" Okay, this plane crashed into the mountains. Um, yeah, and then I think a few days later, all over the news, media in Greece, airline, it's called, I think it's called Hellas Airlines, crashed into the mountains. And if you go on air crash investigations, they actually did a story about this airline, and it's actually everything that I described is exactly what happened. And the girl I was dating at the time, I told her, everything was to a T. Even now, like I still have premonitions, I still see things. I know if something's going to happen. Yeah, just certain things that I'll see, and that's not when I'm asleep, when I'm awake. I feel like I just go into a different time zone. People call it crazy, but I've seen things that are going to happen, and it's pretty freaky. Like I lost my
Yeah.
brother last year. Back in March of last year, my brother passed away sadly, and I see him, and he tells me, and I see things, and I say to my partner now, and it'll just happen. It'll just happen. Or like things that I just seen, he'll tell me, but not necessarily he's telling me, but I'll just see things, and it's just like, okay, what's happening? What's going on here? And then I'll describe it, and then basically it is that, but in a different way. But I'll describe it differently, but it's actually turned out the same way. So
That's
that's the
full
only thing that
on.
yeah, it is. It
Can you
actually is.
can
I've
you
actually,
can you control this? Can you make it happen, or does it
no,
just
no, you
happen when
can't.
it happens?
It just happens. Like I could be sitting there and I'll be, with my partner, I'll be like, your phone's going to ring. And the phone will just ring. And I'll just
Yeah.
say, and like you just something comes over you. Like it's this thing inside you. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to describe it. Like I've seen lotto numbers, I've written them down and they've come up on the TV. I've never played the lotto. I don't play it. If I see him, I feel like it's a bad omen. I actually feel like it's a bad omen, Jamie.
Sorry, it'd
The
be a
most
bad
I've
omen
gotten
if you
is
played the
one of,
numbers you saw. Is that what you mean?
yeah, I've never played them. The most I've gotten, what I remembered was five numbers, and five numbers came up. I couldn't remember the last two,
Wow.
but I won't play those numbers. I feel like it's a bad omen. It's
Okay,
like
so you're
pretty.
not meant to use this to make money.
That's how I look at it, and I just think, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that crap stuff. Though. Not for me.
You know, before I auditioned for the Big Brother house, I had a dream that I was in the Big Brother house, and I had
Oh wow,
watched the show, but in my dream it was strange. Like we were in the show and we ordered pizza, and then the delivery guy showed up, and I said to him, "Do you know this is the Big Brother house?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, it is too. Cool. That'd be $14." And I was just like, he didn't give a stuff in the dream. But yeah, it was weird to then end up in the house. And look, I read tarot cards, so I'm into this kind of thing.
yeah,
And so I do get what you mean of like feeling stuff or being open to information that comes to you from somewhere else, and
yeah.
you
You have
can.
those sort of things. I'm a believer in that sort of things, Jamie. Like, ghosts and all that sort of stuff. Like I said, after my brother passed, I see him in my dreams. Um, he'll talk to me with body actions and hand actions. I physically won't hear his voice, but he'll talk to me and I'll see him and he'll be either with another family member of ours that's passed away and he'll be happy or he'll show me something. It's pretty freaky. You know what I mean? To think you see all these sort of things and then something's going to happen or he's warned me about other things. It's actually a real freak of nature to think, wow, and then people look at you, laugh and go, oh, yeah, whatever. But until you're in that position, you don't know. So, it's not a place that anyone can comment.
Oh, Igor, that's a really nice connection to be able to have with your brother. Like that's actually a
It
really cool
is.
thing.
It is. I miss him. It's been like, going on 18 months now and sadly
Mm.
passed away at 52. But it's a part of life. It's shit. It's fucked. But, we don't know our destiny, Jamie. No one knows when we're going to live. Yeah, and like I said, the universe turned against us because our parents are still alive. My mum and dad are still alive, and my brother. Our parents should never bury a child, which is the worst part.
Mm.
Um, but look, I'm not saying if it was my parents that passed away, you'll still be safe, your mum and dad, but at least it's going in the right order. Mum and dad, and then the kids live on. We have kids, but a parent should never bury their child first. And, like I always said to my brother, if we were 5 years apart, if I was 80 and he was 85, and I said, you died, like, I'll probably kick you in the fucking grave before they bury you. Like, I'd probably just get rid of you myself. But, like, we always had that laugh, that banter, and that sort of stuff. But then, yeah, it's just part of life, Jamie. You just have to get used to it and you got to move on. And you can't change it. You can't bring no one back. And I've got my family to look after. I've got, my three kids and my partner and, her boys. So, yeah, it's just you just got to move on with life. You can't stop. And my parents always say to me, you have to keep going. You can't stop. It's not going to
Yeah,
change.
that's a good philosophy.
Let me ask you one question before we go.
Mm.
If you were offered to go back on the show, would you honestly go back on Big Brother again? Like, whether they did it All Stars or whatever it was, would you actually go back on Big Brother again?
In a
Seriously.
heartbeat.
Would you do it again?
In a
In a
heartbeat.
heartbeat?
In a heartbeat, mate.
Wow.
Absolutely. So much fun. Give me a holiday from my from my life. You know. You
I don't think
wouldn't?
I'd
Are
go
you
back
saying
on.
you wouldn't?
No, no, I wouldn't. I think
Dude.
it's more with coming out of the show with everything that we've done, everything we got up to, that the social media will destroy you. I think that's what
Yeah.
sets me to go back on the show. I would go back in a heartbeat because, like you said, I agree. It'd be fun if they did it all stars and they got every week bringing someone in, someone out. I think it'll be sensational. But I think the social media side aspect would kill it for everyone. Because then all the stories come out, all the rumors will come out. You don't know what's true. They'll make memes of you. I think that's my
Mm.
greatest fear, the social media.
Oh, mate. I mean, you're scratching your nose one day, you accidentally have a little bit of a pick, and next minute that's a meme. And it's been shared
Yeah,
on the internet 100 million times of you picking your nose. Oh, that would suck. Um,
yeah, exactly. Or
just
something you do in a house,
uh,
whatever it may be, you might do some sort of dance move, and they'll just put that across the board with everything. And that's what would make me say no to going back in the house. I think that'll be the only thing that I say no to because of social media. Otherwise, I'd love to go back for the experience, for the fun, like to have like yourself or me and past housemates all together, just punching
yeah.
on, arguing, having a laugh, fucking around, take the piss
Yeah.
out of each other because we can take the piss out of each other. We've been there and done that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I've always said, would you go back on? And people ask me, and I said no, because social media and because of my kids. I don't want my kids reading all the bullshit. That's my biggest fear.
There'd be some pretty nasty stuff.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I don't want to get it. I don't want to talk about it now live on it, like what we're doing now. That's something we can
Yeah. Yeah.
talk about
Yeah.
later on in live.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get you. I get you. Don't fuel that crap. I mean, people make up stuff
Nah.
all the time. What actually? Before I let you go, though, I did want to know, um, when Elle farted right on your face,
Oh.
you must have been annoyed about that, right? A little. I know you laughed it off at the time, but I felt
No,
like
actually, it
I
wasn't.
felt like
Actually, it wasn't.
no, you didn't care.
No, what pissed me off was the fact that when she farted, I didn't expect it, and I thought it was humor. I thought, grouse, this girl's got such a great humor. She's funny. She farted, no filter, doesn't care. But when I done it, I was crucified,
No.
and that's what. Every time I farted, like in the bedroom, oh my god, they
Oh,
would have a hissy fit. They would sook. Or if you're outside by the pool, I'm like, what? You guys
mate.
don't fart?
I
But
think it's
when the
the
other housemates
difference.
farted, it
It's
was
the
okay.
difference between a really hot chick farting and a dude. I think that's just one of those things. It's always going to be a double standard.
I think a hot chick farting is actually sexual. I think that's actually sexy. If a hot girl just farts in front of you, because that just shows she's being herself. I think there's nothing better than that. I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with farting. Girls fart. There's nothing wrong. You can fart. I don't care. I mean, you could fart right now, Jamie. I'll probably join
Yep.
you in a competition. I couldn't care
Yeah.
less.
Yeah.
Who
I
gives
think
a shit? Fucking let it go, man.
I think there was a moment that Elle farted on your face that I kind of fell in love with her a little bit at that moment. I don't know. There was just something about it. It
She
was-
got that respect from me. I remember she got respect from me after. I remember I said to her, Al, honestly, well done. I go, it takes balls to do that. And I remember she came, she goes, are you not upset? I said, for what? I go, we're just having fun. I go, this is comedy, this is character, this is people knowing each other, you know? Who gives a
yep.
shit? I said. But if I
Absolutely.
farted in someone else's face, oh, mate, I would have been
Ugh.
crucified.
Even you just farting on the
Yeah.
couch and everyone's just like, oh, no, we're out of here. That's it. No, that stinks.
Yep.
We're done.
Yep. I farted, everyone just ran off. I'm like, see ya, bye,
Okay.
fuck off, leave the room nicely, comfortably. I'll stay by myself. I actually farted in the dining room and got told by Big Brother as well once.
You
I remember
can't,
farting in the
you
dining room.
can't smell it through the camera. What's
No, but he found it quite rude. He goes, that's very rude. I said, oops, sorry. Fucking Big Brother.
oh my god.
Oh, what a life we've had, Jamie. I must
What a
say, look,
crazy experience.
it's good to look back now and you think, you're oh 07, I'm oh 04, and think we
Yeah.
can talk and chat about these sort of things. And look, I just hope when Big Brother starts again this year that whoever, if they do see this video before they go on the show, that they honestly embrace, enjoy, take it all in. Just be yourself. Just do what you got to do. Have fun. Don't be a douchebag. Don't be pretentious. Don't be someone that you're not.
Mm.
But whoever goes in there this year and wants to enjoy it, and I hope they experience and have a great experience and have a lot of fun. Because, like you said, it is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Just be yourself, man, because people will love you more for who you are than being fake.
I agree with that. And don't try to anticipate. I would say don't try to anticipate what's going to keep you in or get you not voted or whatever. And break some rules, stuff around, do something. Just do some
Don't
stuff.
fucking
And
kiss no one's ass. Don't kiss no one's ass. Be who you are. If they don't like
I
what you're saying,
worried too
fuck
much.
off.
I worried too much, and I regret that about my time in there. I wish that I had have
I
just
didn't.
kept showering naked. Yeah, no, I wish I had been a bit more like you in that aspect. Because stop showering naked because I was worried someone might get offended. Nah, stop now. Now that I'm older me says you get offended because you see me naked. I don't care. That's your problem, not mine. But yeah, younger me was
Mate, if
just a
we did
bit
a
more
All
worried
Stars
about it.
now, I reckon those guys would be chasing ourselves naked around the house, to be quite honest with you. That's how much we wouldn't give a fuck right now. You would not give five fucks, Jamie. If we went in there now knowing what we've done,
Yeah.
we'll be breaking rules left, right, and centre. I reckon we'll be getting strikes all the time.
Oh
We'll be
yeah.
in so much trouble right now.
The food budget would be 30 cents by the end of the week.
We're fucking punching on for the food, fucking hiding
Now,
cans of food.
how good would it be? I know. I'm ready. All right. Well, if the producers call, I'll let them know that you're good to go again.
Oh, mate, you know what? Do all stars, but have fucking zero rules. Just let us do what the fuck we want.
Lord of the
Just let us
Flies
do what we want.
style. Yeah.
Yeah. Just, you know what? Give us the keys to the house. Fuck off. Leave us alone. We'll give Australia entertainment if they want it.
I agree. I reckon that's it. I reckon that's a perfect pitch for a show. And yeah, a great note to end it on. Igor, thanks so much again for taking the time, man.
Thank you
And
so much,
let's
Jamie, for
let's
having me.
let's chat again during the season for sure.
Whenever you want, mate. Like I said, hit me up like you did, and I'm in for it straight away, mate. Anytime.
Appreciate it, man. See you later.
Thanks, Jamie. See you, buddy.